Cafe Canvas, brought to you by Sokos, the first NFT cafe in the UAE.
Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Masdar in Abu Dhabi, or even Neom in the northeast of Saudi Arabia and the Red Sea. These are new generation of cities based on intelligence, based on conscientiousness. So AI plays a very important role in the development of those cities because you have sensors, they generate data, then this data generated is being optimized to service the citizens that live there in a better way. But there's so many others. I mean, for example, in the region, manufacturing is very important because we went from just taking oil out of the ground and exporting it or gas into boats into creating byproducts associated with the oil. So there's hundreds of these products. So, for example, if you look at a place like Saudi Arabia, there's several industrial cities where these products are being transformed into finished goods, including even something like as simple as solar panels or fiber optic cables. So there's a whole industry of manufacturing that has actually been developed. Other important areas, I would say transportation.
Okay.
Now, whether it was Emirates Airlines or the new high-speed trains that we have in the region or the metro without a driver, all these technologies share common elements associated in which AI plays a important role.
Correct.
One of the important elements of AI that helps both smart cities and manufacturing and safety of smart cities is what we call computer vision. So AI is being used to either optimize quality control in a manufacturing plant, or read license plates as people drive by, or even give automatic tickets because you don't have seat belts or you're talking on the phone. Of course people don't want that. But it makes those cities more efficient and more safe at the end of the day.
No, wow,
So all the AI has got really a very wide multitude of applications. But for AI to actually take place, you need to build the infrastructure to accept AI. And that's one of the areas where we're spending a lot of time. So we're creating a whole new generation of data centers, and we call these data centers hyperscale data centers. And these hyperscale data centers are much smaller. They consume a lot more electricity, comparatively speaking. They need to be cooled because these machines generate a lot of heat. And this is the kind of data centers that allow you to train the models that are then used in these various vertical industries. I think there's another industry here that is evolving a lot very fast. And I would say it's the movie industry. I mean, a lot of new movies are actually being produced. Of course, the big players in this area are obviously Hollywood, Bollywood, and Nollywood.
Oh, you are familiar with Bollywood.
Hollywood, Bollywood, Nollywood. These are the big giants.
Yes.
But I think the region is trying to make entrance into that. So they have started with studios subsidizing movies so that it is creating a whole new industry. For example, if you go in Dubai here on the probably southeast side, you have something called Studio City where they have a lot of content actually being produced.
Yes.
So you have this beginning of a startup industry that is going to make it a long way.
So AI is going to play a very, very important role in the Middle East. I'm sure our listeners have enriched from this entire diverse sectors of, businesses that will be affected and will benefit from AI.
And they will be accelerated by AI.
AI, wonderful. And as a seasoned speaker yourself, you speak really well at international conferences. You're undoubtedly connected with diverse audiences, right, George?
Yes.
Could you share a standout moment where your insights ignited a powerful exchange of ideas and perspectives? I'm sure you do have like a special memory that takes you back.
Actually, my favorite moments are the ones that are interactive in nature. It's not reading slides from a presentation.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the best presentations that I enjoyed was about 1 year ago in Saudi Arabia at the LEAP conference. I did a presentation about conscientious cities. So this was the new generation of smart cities. So the idea is that what we want to do is to empower people. So what we're doing is we're transferring them new knowledge. So every time you do a presentation, if people in the audience, their eyes shine up, that means that is instant.
It's working.
Instant satisfaction for the speaker. So,
what's the best question you've ever received from an audience? Do you have any memory of that?
Not too many, but of course, every situation is quite different. Interestingly enough, in every audience, there's always somebody, I usually call it, I don't know what you look like, but I know you're the audience. They ask you some difficult questions.
So many questions, yeah.
That is correct. And, and sometimes what is important is not necessarily to answer in technical detail all the elements of the question, but rather how you formulate the answer to the question. What's the logic, how you architect. Because every question is either trying to understand a problem,
right,
or trying to solve
find
something.
A solution.
So the idea, how you solve a solution, you take a big one and you break it into small ones. And by solving each small one, at the end, you have solved the bigger problem. So this is how I usually tend to answer the questions that get put. And one is questions, some of them are difficult, but the idea is you have to go through this process. You take a deep breath, you analyze in your mind, and then it's not it's not a race, you know.
Yeah, wonderful.
It's more like a marathon.
That's amazing to know. What are your future plans? What are you working towards right now?
Well, right now we're actually doing several projects. Some of them have to do with artificial intelligence. So we're helping, obviously, build this new generation of data centers. We're helping a lot of innovative projects. Some are, for example, in the gaming industry. Some are in the real estate tokenization, because they're helping, you can say, the region move in a much faster way. Some have to do with asset tokenization, whether that asset happens to be real estate, gold, or other assets. As you know, all these are important elements. There's a new exchange that just got launched about, it's not just a traditional digital exchange and a commodities exchange. So it's trying to combine both the digital world and the physical world. And that's actually what is happening. For example, we're here at the Sokos NFT Cafe.
Yeah.
And one of the important things is people say, oh, everything will be digital. But no, everything is going to be a mixture of digital and physical.
Absolutely,
so, you know, you have this thing, phygital, where you have the physical, could be a running shoe or a painting.
It's a new term.
It's a new term. So if you merge the NFT asset with the physical asset, then both have got value, and the combined value of the both is actually bigger.
Absolutely.
Let me take an example of that.
Yeah,
a good friend of mine here heads the blockchain center, Dr. Marwan. So, for example, Dr. Marwan is a collection of cars. One of these cars happens to be a Tesla. Everybody knows how much a Tesla costs. I mean, between, let's say, $50,000, $100,000. So it's the cost of the batteries and the smart driving. But guess what? You take this Tesla, you wrap it in an NFT wrapper, you create a 3D visual on a three-dimensional metaverse world, and all of a sudden this car is worth 3 times more, 5 times more, 10 times more.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So by combining these physical and digital worlds, you're actually adding value, because the consumers of that data are interested in this type of mixed content.
That's wonderful. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast today, the Cafe Canvas podcast brought to you by Sokos. How do you feel at Sokos? You like the vibe of this cafe?
Actually, it's my 3rd visit to this cafe. Sheikh is a driving force behind this cafe. We've been colleagues for several years now. And I think that's what is important. It's what is being used for. On one side is a traditional cafe, but it's a cafe with the angle of technology, blockchain, NFT, all mixed into one.
The first NFT cafe in the UAE.
Correct. It's also designed to hold meetups, so it has many elements that have combined, lots of screens, lots of action, interactive areas. So the idea is people can come here, spend a bit of time, even do a bit of their co-working. So there is a lot of plugs, so you never run out of power. There's very fast internet. So all the ingredients that a digital nomad needs.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure, George, having you on the podcast. And cheers to all your future endeavors. Keep rocking.
To a good tea.
To good tea and coffee, whatever you like drinking. And of course, cheers to Sokos.
Thank you. And congratulations on the nice work that you have done.
Thank you so much. Thank you, George. So guys, on that note, we wrap up for today. We're going to be back with a brand new episode with a brand new topic and of course a new guest in our next episode. In the meantime, don't forget to show us your love, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram. We call Sokos, S-O-K-O-S. Till we meet again, take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Cafe Canvas, brought to you by Sokos, the first NFT cafe in the UAE. NFT cafe in the UAE.